to open Little Groove Play Studio is our own two children. We have a 2-year-old and a 10-month-old. My 2-year-old has been going to therapy to help with his speech and development for several months now, and I saw all the benefits that he was getting from these services, and I thought that those should be provided to all kids, regardless of needs and insurances and therapy centers. So I coordinated with his therapy centers and developed out this space so that way we kept all children's development in mind and made sure that we had the facility to make sure that they learn while they play. So we have a lot of different things in our space. So one of the fun things that we have are our building soft play blocks. We can build them into castles. They can knock them down if they like. Sometimes having that need to crash or drop things, they don't get that in other places. It's always be tidy, be clean, don't touch that, don't mess with this. Here, they're free to express and be creative, and they'll be in a safe and comfortable environment. So this is one of the top things that kids are really into. They can build and explore with. Another really big part of our space is our wind tunnel, especially for our little ones. Being able to do something from start to finish is really fun for them, especially at a young age, knowing how to put something in and watching it fly out where another little friend can catch it, learning about their colors, learning about scarves, and just the ins and outs of things is really fun for them. We also have our play kitchen. Our play kitchen is really great for dramatic and imaginary play. It's fully stocked, so we have our play kitchen here that's got plenty of different things for them to work with. We have blenders and toasters. We have plenty of things here to kind of help them learn how to use a kitchen, and you'd be surprised how much they've already picked up from the caregivers in their lives. I've had little ones come in here and chop up their vegetables and pretend to season with salt and pepper, and I'm like, look at you go. I had no clue that little ones that are 3 and 4 could season their pretend food. So there's a lot of really fun things in this space. We have cars and trucks, and we have some really cool things here to help them build and help to explore building and creating. So we do have little blocks here to help them build out a road, which is really fun for them to build out and explore and make certain turns and decide to make a whole little space here. We have cars to choose from and little cars to choose from, so this area can get really fun too, and that helps with their fine motor strength and their cognitive ability to create and build for their own. We also have a sensory swing, and so this sensory swing is actually really exciting to help with their vestibular system. So with little ones, they need to strengthen their core, and they don't really have the means to do it the way an adult would, going to the gym or doing crunches. So the best way a little one can is to do things that engage their core system. So in sitting in a swing like this one, when they sit in the center, it's not like a traditional swing where it's already holding on for them. They have to really engage themselves to stay stable. It's also really fun when they have other little friends on there and they all lay together, and it's more like a hammock situation. So that's really fun. We also have a sensory room. So our sensory room here, we have purposefully put down grass, not only to control the mess, but also just feeling through their feet up really helps with this age group. They're really touchy-feely under 6 years old. So things like the grass, our stepping sensory pads really help engage their body. We do have sensory bins. So every month I switch out the sensory bin and it's a new theme. So this month, since it was the beginning of the year, it is fireworks in the night sky, and we have some beans that they can play with. We have some pom-poms. We have some scoops and some cups to help them learn how to scoop and pour, which is so important for them when they're learning how to eat and use utensils. We also have really good little pinchers that these are always in the sensory bin as well to help them pick up and drop items. This really helps strengthen that pincher grasp and helps them identify. In this space, they're more than welcome to freely play with all the beans. They're welcome to pour the beans on the floor. I don't mind one bit. This is part of their creativity. They're learning how to process things. When things fall on the floor, it creates a mess. What do we do with the mess? We can pick it up. We can, roll it around. All these different components of sensory and building is why we've created this space. There's no punishment. There's no real consequence to doing these kinds of things in this space. I wanted to create a space where these kids could really fully enjoy all of that we have to offer without feeling like they're not allowed to make a mess or this isn't allowed in this space when it absolutely is here. Then we have our train table, which is always really fun with the little ones. And we have a really fun sensory pegboard over here with light up little acrylic pegs. This is really fun for fine motor skills. They can pull out the pegs, they can put in, helps with color recognition, and lights are always really fun for little ones. Okay, so we also do birthdays, and that has been a really big component of our space, especially for parents of really little ones who want their little one to enjoy their party and be in a safe space where the parents and caregivers can socialize and talk to family and friends without having to feel burdened by hosting and doing all those extra parts that birthday parties entail. So with our birthday parties, we do all of the setup and all of the cleanup. You can even bring all of your additional pieces that make your party special to us beforehand, and we'll make sure to set that all up as well. So if you're having a Spider-Man birthday and have some Spider-Man decorations, bring it on down. I'll make sure it's all ready to go. If you are having a Hello Kitty birthday, it's the same. So we just make sure that we want you guys to have the best opportunity to enjoy yourselves throughout the birthday party and not having to feel the stress of hosting and setting up and cleaning up. All of that we include in our package. We do have an art board here as well for some mess-free art. Kids can make some really cute little paintings. They can make happy faces, and it's all just with water, so nothing gets too messy, so that's always a lot of fun. And my favorite room of all is our mellow yellow room. So this room here is a little bit smaller of a space, and we developed this room with your kids' development in mind. In these other two rooms, it's meant for socialization, it's meant for group play, but sometimes they need a little bit of time for themselves. And so this room was meant to keep their self-regulation. So when they need a moment, instead of being punished or pulled off to the sidelines or not being able to play and engage with the other kids, they get the opportunity to come into this space and learn self-regulation tools and have the ability to play independently. So everything we have in this room is meant for independent play. We have a really cute little teeter-totter where they can look at themselves in our fun mirrors. We have some sensory wall items. We also have some puzzles and books and musical instruments. Music, we found, is such a big therapy component for children. So we have shakers and sticks and rhythm sticks. We have all kinds of different items to help them engage their own mind and body. So when they're having a hard time being in a social setting, if they just need a moment to themselves, like we all do, they have that opportunity here. So this is my favorite room. It really helps them explore their independence and their own autonomy without feeling burdened by a social situation or feeling like they have to be set aside or othered in a social setting. Here, we want to make sure all kids are welcome at all times. And that is the Mellow Yellow Room. Awesome. So a lot of times people ask us, how do we keep our space clean and how is our space safe for little ones? And the best way to answer that is to come in for yourself. So I have my own two little ones, and they are my constant reminder to stay clean. I have a 10-month-old that is teething and constantly putting things in her mouth like many of us. So I've made sure to do a ton of research on all of our sanitary equipment. We have a sanitary spray that we use that is eco-friendly, it is kid safe, but it is also hospital grade. So it will clean any germs on site. We also make sure to clean in between every play session that we have. And we close every day at lunchtime from 11:30 to 12:30 to do a deep cleaning of our space and do a reset. So that way the kids that come in the afternoon get the same experience that the kids that came in the morning. At the end of every day, we steam clean our entire space and we reset our entire space. So every day starts fresh, starts new, and starts clean. We are also a shoe-free environment. We have found and seen much research and studies that show that a shoe-free environment is the best place for a little one to be in. It stops the spread of most germs, and it just makes everything a little bit more contained. Speaking of containment, we also only allow 8 families at a time in our space. While we could hold quite a few more, we found that not only does it help with stopping with the spread of germs, and as parents and caregivers, we don't want to have to be shuffling through crowds of children and people to get to our child if we need to. So I wanted to make sure that this space was reflective of that. So we only allow in 8 families at a time, which can vary between 8 to 12 children at a time in the space. But because our space has 3 different areas to choose from, it still stays pretty mellow. So we have our Melody morning class. Our Melody morning class is on Tuesday and Wednesday mornings from 9 to 10 a.m. That class, we collaborated with a speech therapist here in the AV to help us come up with songs and dances that really help with our children's speech and language and muscle movement in their faces. So it's a really fun and exciting class. They get to utilize their bodies, and we explore different instruments and using rhythm. So it's a lot of fun. And those classes will be 20% off with a membership. We also have really fun events where we have characters come in. We've had Bluey stop on by at the Little Groove Play Studio, and we have plenty of other characters to come. Those events, members will either get free for some events, and others they get 10% off depending on the event. And we do have other options other than our membership. We have a play pass. For those of us that just want to pop in a few times throughout the year, we have a play pass. That allows you to have 10 play visits for the price of 8. It expires after a year. And that's really great for the families who have other engagements, maybe other things that they do and just want to come in a few times throughout the year. You still get a good value by having 2 free play sessions. We do have other families that come in just for our classes, and they reserve the class pass. With our class pass, it's the same structure. It is 10 classes for the price of 8, and we have a lot of families that utilize that for our Melody morning classes, and we will have more classes to come with this new year. In my experience here, being a new business owner in the AV has been extremely welcoming. I've met so many new families in this area that I would have otherwise not been able to, especially in an age after COVID. It's been very, very difficult for families to reach out to one another, and I have felt so much warmth from creating a space like this and having all of our little ones come in and engage with one another. Not only that, but all of the caregivers to have a chance to communicate and socialize again, because we so rarely get these opportunities. So I really appreciate the AV community that have come together and really supported our space. And we look forward to all the new community members that want to join in the family. Okay, so if you haven't been here before, we would love to have you. So our open play hours vary every week. We let people know to check our website at littlegrooveplay.com. The first thing you'll see on our homepage is our weekly schedule. That will let you know when we have our open play hours. Open play is 90 minutes. It's $12 for those 90 minutes, and an additional child is 8. So if you have multiple children in your family, bring them on down. We would love to have them experience our play studio.